Hey everyone, I hope that you're all doing well. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. I'm just here quickly to do the Monday week ahead reading for you from a slightly different angle. We're trying something different, keep it fresh. So, I'm just going to use the Earth Magic Oracle today to get some messages for you guys to see what kind of energy comes through, and the usual question of, what do we need to know this week? What is the most important thing? What energies are coming through? And what should we be focusing on? Okay, so I'm just going to have to keep an eye and make sure that I am letting you guys see everything nicely. All right. So I'm going to say, please, what do we need to know this week that is most important for us right now? Here's the first one. Solitude. Can you see if I do that? Yeah. Island, solitude. For me, this is vitally important. People have had this fear in the past of being alone, being on their own, doing things on their own. There's some people who literally cannot even go to the toilet on their own. If they're at a restaurant or something like that. And this is bred a culture of, first of all, lack of independence, obviously, and also lack of just being with the self. We also need to remember that solitude is a choice. You get loneliness and you get people who have a lot of sorrow because they feel like they are alone. And there's different types of being alone. There's, are you alone or are you lonely? You can be in a room full of people where you're not alone, but you feel very lonely. You feel very isolated. And then there can literally be the sense of being alone, being on your own. And then there is this choice. Solitude is a choice. You actually choose to be in solitude, to be on your own, to be this little tree on the island in the middle of nowhere. And it's very important to do that sometimes, to just sit with yourself. And that in itself is a type of meditation. You don't need to be sitting down saying Om and meditating. All you need to do is sit quietly. And I've said this many, many times. When we need to ask for something, that is a sense or a type of praying. But how often do we sit still and then be quiet and listen for the answers? If we're talking all the time and asking all the time, we don't have time to listen to the answers and the insight that comes to us. So this is very important, this solitude, learning about yourself, being okay with being with yourself. That can be a very scary thing, having to be with ourselves and to face certain things about ourselves. A lot of people cannot sit alone with themselves, and that's something that we need to learn to do and cultivate. And now is a very good time to do this, when we're sitting now in the situation where we are, a lot of us on lockdown, and we've got the coronavirus. This is time to contemplate. This is time to think, to say, what is this all about? What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my time? Do I use it constructively? Do I sit with myself? Do I sit and listen? Or am I just talking all the time? And if I am, how much of what I'm saying is constructive? How am I using those words? How am I living my life? How am I spending this time? I think that's very, very important. So try and fit in some time this week. You don't have to meditate for 2 hours every day. Even 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Before I do a reading for someone, I sit for 5 minutes and I meditate and I get myself into the right space and I clear my mind. And that can do you the world of good. And you don't have to be sitting, closing your eyes, like I said. You can just sit. Just go sit in the garden and just sit. Focus on something nice to listen to, the waterfall that you have at your swimming pool or whatever, the birds that are singing. Even if the traffic is a pleasant sound for you, so be it. Okay, let's see what else we need to know about this week, please. What else do we need to know, take note of, do? What's important this week for us, please? Shapeshifting. Okay, this is part and parcel of this. Whoops, right way around is always helpful. Okay, shape shifting. This is about being willing to change. Okay, learning different things about ourselves, maybe doing a new skill, or maybe you needed to lose some weight, maybe you needed to build more muscle, maybe you needed to get back into an old skill that you used to do, maybe you've picked up a paintbrush for the first time in months or years, or you've drawn something and you're getting back to who you used to be. We can always shape shift back to people that we used to like. Okay, and we're never the same version of ourselves, and we never have to remain that way. You don't have to say, well, I've always had blonde hair, so I always have to be blonde, or I have always been fat, or I have always been this, or I've always been that. You're placing an identity on yourself, and that identity can be changed and morphed, and we can create new versions of ourselves that are healthier, that are wealthier, more abundant, whatever you want to create. So this shape shifting is very important. So this is saying to us this week that we can shape shift, and a lot of that can be done through solitude and can be done through meditation. And if we're not sure what we need to change or develop, we can learn that, and we can ask that and be given the answers through solitude and meditation. So these two really go hand in hand, and this says you don't have to be the same as you've always been. There's no rule book that says you always have to be the same person that you've always been, especially if you feel I have become boring, or I'm not happy with this, or I want to change that. But you never actually get up and take the action and the ownership to change that. Or I've always wanted to go here, visit this place, or do this thing. Go and do it. Don't be afraid that it's going to change who you are, or that if you go hiking in the Himalayas that you're going to come back with a tan and blonde hair when you've had dark hair and pale skin, and everyone's going to say you look different. You know, so what? Be more of your authentic self. Do what you need to do. Shape shift into the more authentic version of yourself. Connect with yourself. Be true to yourself. Live with integrity. Live as true to the version of your true self as you can. And whatever that needs, whatever shape shifting needs to take place, don't be afraid of it, because we are so afraid of going out of our comfort zones that many of us live half of our lives. Okay, it doesn't matter what other people think, what they think you should be doing, or how you should look or walk, or what you should eat. It's none of their business. You need to become who you need to become. Okay, what else do we need to know this week, please? Is there anything else? Wow. They like to do that to me. Vulnerability. Okay, that's exactly what I've just said. Get out of your comfort zone. This is about vulnerability. This is about being able to be open and honest and open up your heart to certain things. That's vulnerable. If you've got a new relationship, or you've got something happening where you have to be compassionate or open yourself up or share something about yourself, that's vulnerability. Admitting that you need to give up a bad habit or do something to change your health or your body or whatever, that's vulnerability. Tap into that and let it be okay. It's very scary, but let it be okay. Okay, and the ocean is about ebb and flow, cycles. You may be going out of a specific cycle of your life now where you are shape shifting. You may be wanting to engage in this solitude, and that's something different. Know that the cycle of your life is coming to an end if you want to start something new and constructive. There's a symbolic death of something which is going to allow growth for you. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because there can be some beautiful things born out of vulnerability. Okay. Guys, we're running out of time. I hope that you enjoyed that very quick reading. I wish you all a beautiful week ahead, and take care. Bye-bye.